I have with me today Joanne van Berkel and Natalie McColl from the Transport Accident Commission in Victoria. Welcome and welcome to the Personal Injury and Disability Management National Conference. You were speaking today, your topic today was application of early risk screening in predicting return to work recovery pathways. And today you spoke about the 0 to 30 day pilot, which was one of the first pilots you implemented under the TAC 2025 strategy. So tell us a bit about that pilot. What was involved?
Sure. This pilot was really about how we could best understand and support our clients to return to work early on in the life of their recovery. So it was about understanding three key things in particular. Firstly, how do you understand what might be a risk for a client around work? Knowing that, how might we redesign or enhance our design of the care pathways that we put in place to better support those outcomes that a client's seeking? And thirdly, what best practice tools or applications might we use to really magnify our current approach in that space?
Now you use the word early.
Mm-hmm.
Why is early so important?
You know, early intervention is important because there's a plethora of research which supports the earlier we can intervene with clients or employers, the more chance we have of returning to work. By 12 weeks, working capacity can actually become quite fixed for clients, and there's a lot of research that supports if you've got a really strong sort of a plan in place prior to 8 to 12 weeks, your chances of return to work are almost triple. So the longer you leave it, the more entrenched clients can become in not working. And we all know the benefits of work. We've talked a lot about that, both socially, psychologically, emotionally. Work is good. It's good for all of us. And so we know that the earlier we intervene, the more chances we have of supporting clients to get back to work ahead of time.
And it always has intrigued me in this industry. We throw out terms like 8 to 12 weeks as being, quick or early. And I always reflect on it during lockdown. We're in lockdown for 12 weeks. And it's an incredibly long time.
It is.
So to have 12 weeks without anything happening, I'm not surprised behaviours and illness becomes ingrained.
Entrenched, yeah.
And entrenched, absolutely. Now, what have you learned through the pilot? What have been some of the key things and the aha moments that you've had throughout the pilot?
So the detail of the pilot was that we collected an additional 5 risk questions. So we asked clients about the size of the employer, confidence levels in returning to work. We wanted to know if they'd returned to driving and if their role required physical drive. It was a physical role that involved driving. So we asked a series of additional questions, and we used those questions to segment clients into alternate recovery pathways. So we had a low-risk pathway and a high-risk pathway. So for our low-risk pathway, clients were managed in a no-touch or lighter touch. Sorry, no, it's not a no-touch, it's a light touch approach. Versus those that were in the high risk that were managed with a very intensive case model framework. So what we found was that it was possible to differentiate clients into alternate care pathways. For those that went into our low risk pathway, 94% of those returned to work with little to no intervention from the TAC. So we know that there are clients out there that will self-navigate their own recovery journey, and we at the TAC really feel that's important. We want to be able to absolutely encourage self-navigation, but we also want to make sure that we are there to provide the support to the clients that need that more intensive case management from us. So we did learn, one of the key learnings was that it was possible. And what the work also allowed us to do was it allowed us to reduce portfolio sizes quite significantly for our claim staff. So prior to the pilot, they would sit at around 70, 75. Within 3 months, they were down to about 40, 45 clients. So that really allowed our staff, our rehab coordinators, who do the detailed planning and case management, it allowed them more space, more capacity to deep dive with the clients and to really support the clients that really need it and allow those to self-navigate to do that.
And what's the feedback been from the claims staff and the participants in the pilots. Did they know they were part of the pilot, the claimants?
In terms of our staff, they've been really supportive. So we've spent a lot of time making sure that the change approach, that they were actually really integral to that. I guess they want to spend their time where it matters most. So they're really talented people with amazing capabilities, and if we can really encourage them and provide them with the right information to target that in dealing with clients, rather than doing some of the administrative work or working in a more reactive way, that's absolutely where they want to be. So they have been really positive about the program of work. Of course, it's about understanding what it's all about and getting them integrally involved, but they have very much led a lot of that themselves.
And have you had feedback from customers?
Look, our most recent client experience score for this group was actually really high, one of the most highest in the. So we haven't collected direct feedback from clients themselves, because obviously as clients, these are new clients coming into the scheme, so they don't really know any other experience. Does that make sense? But we do know from our most recent client experience survey that we're getting some really solid client experience results through this. And I think the fact that we still touch base with clients in the low risk pathway every 4 weeks, we touch base with them to ask them how they're going, is there anything more that they need, reaffirm to them that it sounds as if you're still really on track in guiding your own recovery, but we're here if you need. I think that's really making the client feel like they're still, that the TAC still cares.
And what's next?
Yeah, what's next? So this program of work is one of the first pilots, as you mentioned, under our strategies. So we're really looking to take the learnings and feed that into our design work. So at the moment, we've just delivered our next generation claims model blueprint, and part of that is re-looking at how we can continue to evolve a number of things, but importantly our care and recovery pathways. So this work is really critical, time critical. The other piece of work that we're looking at is probably twofold. One is, how do we actually best capture information and use other tools that might exist out there? So we want to continue on with some of these early learnings, because it's a little bit early for some of those practices, and really understand which tools might be of value and how might we use them as part of those care pathways. And probably the third element is we've got some work to do around digital and data in particular, like most organisations. But how could we importantly understand the information, but also where best that's placed for our clients in particular, to help them self-navigate. And when we talk about self-navigate, as Jo's mentioned, it's not about a no-touch, totally hands-off, but it's about giving them the right information and the right kind of guidance so that they can navigate, but that we can be there for that support as well. So it's probably threefold in terms of what's next.
Well, congratulations on an excellent result, and good luck for a very ambitious future.
Yes.
And thank you for your support today.
Thank you.
Thanks for
It's been a
having
pleasure to
us.
meet
Thank
you.
you.
Nice to
Nice to
meet
meet you too.